start. Welcome. I have absolutely nothing new but just a replay of what I posted earlier, but only in a slightly different way. And also, as I said earlier, this topic is not orders at all, and I am not responsible for a spy in Iraq who visits attributes to me, and this has a gang inside Iraq that he leads and plays a game that is not dirtier from them everywhere. He attaches himself to me as if he took my body and started playing what he wants as if he wants to hide it, and makes my body as if he is, as he leads his gang on my way. I mean very dirty games. For example, when we eat something or drink or take something or money or think etc. by giving orders to gangs, registering agents, or choosing etc. All this though and this, he does not benefit from him any words at all and does not recognize any law or its legitimacy, that he is a devil who invented his lie and wanted to impose it. Of course, even though I acquitted and knew myself to everyone that I am just a simple citizen inside Iraq and I have no organization, and this talk is not giving up something what is the truth. Also, I am not a leader of his tribe, and I do not work in politics or security or the government, and I do not have any position or money or followers. Also, these are facts, and this devil is only a gang leader who has his gang, but he is a vile terrorist who hides and exploits the bodies of others. Of course, I do not know who believes in this devil, but as I said earlier, he took over the world after international troops leave this. He became the guard and all the same time that he is not afraid of anything inside Iraq. It is important that this is when playing tricks share she inside Iraq. 2. The topic is about the dreams of victims of mind control of the category of choice, and this is a topic that I talked about a lot previously, but just repeating it only. Of course, every victim has a life role in this gang, which is two parts. First, and as I mentioned earlier, it is without any direct harm to the victim, but it is more harmful because it is the period that the victim's position is falsified without knowing this and making her think, for example, that this position is something that resembles belief in God only, while this is what you will think of the victim only. But it is not like this at all, but it is a catastrophe. There is a position that the victim does not know nor his authority over him, even if she discloses it a game. Also, there is someone from this gang will sit on the position instead of her, or makes himself a guard for her, for example, but he continues to play for what he wants only. Of course, the victims do them in this period are immersed in the illusion that the gang makes them live in it. Of course, in the second stage, the victim will start to feel hurt because the gang in this stage will accept the God who gave the victim an organization or position is not his opinion and gave half of it to another person, and he is the agent of homosexual security. Of course, these stories are repeated with each victim, and not if they are trying to make the victim to understand or believe that the reason is that they committed a mistake or did not remain on the faith, God, etc. of the games. So I found some victims rather than number of them are trying to stay, or she walks on the road or wants to prove that she is with God, but whatever she does, there is no hope that it is the life of every victim, not just her, but every victim in this gang has the same end, and technology will be used with her so that they can easily make her think about what they want and so on. There are also some victims who say that their families have become.
Can your highness hear? Close the doors above the emperor! An emperor shut in like some child? Who rules China, you or him? Do you? Cao Zhou lies, kills and steals, then blames you for his injustice. Liang Xiangpu is only protecting China. That's why
my brain nearly damaged. About me, of course, and I do not hide from you that I was seriously harmed in the brain, so it became very difficult for me to think. I lost many brain cells. Really, I find unusual difficulties in thinking and finding any idea added to the mountains. The difficulties that face me, for example, my financial condition, which is quite small. Of course, this is not a test at all, but they are an enemy. I have tried this to kill me a lot, and still. My foot is still injured, after trying to kill with a speeding car. Also, there are other attempts they fired and others. They are terrorism. By the way, I know their truth completely. They are a hostility. The real relationship between me and them is that we are enemies too. I know myself that I am nothing inside Iraq.
I can't make up my mind. I haven't got a brain. Only straw.
How can you?
Get. Who? You see? I can't even scare a crow. They come from miles around just to eat in my field and laugh in my face. Oh, I'm a failure because I haven't got a brain.
Well, what would you do with a brain if you had one?
Do? Why, if I had a brain, I could while away the hours conferring with the flower, consulting with the rain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain. I'd unravel every
brain. Well, you can't do much of anything at all. So, literally speaking, is there really such a thing as a no-brain?
At last, you are using my brains. We'll go to the newspaper office and put in an ad immediately.
Devil said he owned the victim's body. Now we start with the topic, which is the dreams of the victims, and it is just talk. I mean, like this is a terrorist demon in Iraq, and with him the homosexual security agent like these does not confess to this talk. For anyone opening their mouth with it.
To the hand that wields it. Look at the strength of your body, the desire in your heart. I gave you this. Such a waste.
Victim not able to think. Another thing I want to say is that if we take the subject as a relief in his region, for example, we will have people with severe wounds in a very dangerous area, which is the brain. This is why you should take the victims to be treated, and not, for example, we depend on giving directions to them, because they are a person with a brain here. How do we expect that she will think she is suffering from the brain? Certainly will remain floundering. Only another thing, which is that the gang that afflicted the victim, she will not let her rest in order to heal her wounds, for example, but increase the damage her cases and all kinds of harm as if she was intending this, because she knows that the victim is injured. And notice the victim's victim is injured. The most dangerous area is the brain. That is why most attempts fail. Of course, this not dream to any victims.
Devil. He reserved a whole floor of hell. Just for me, Jenny.
First dream. The first dream is for a person to come and see the gang attacking the victim and go to court to present evidence and complaint against this gang, and these terrorists are caught. This may be security for these victims because the gang is completely outside the law.
Before I pass sentence, I wish to thank you two gentlemen in behalf of the state for the valuable evidence you have furnished this court in bringing this criminal to justice. It's men like you this country should be proud of.
Okay, one way in which a person can get out of it is the legal way, meaning you get the forensic evidence, you take them to court, they get prosecuted. I know several people who have had cases in the courts, took these perpetrators and criminals to court, and they were prosecuted, and the targeting did. One of them actually wrote a book. So for those of you who say a person can never get out of it, that is a lie, okay? Now, the second way...
What versus first dream? The difficulties of the first dream are in Iraq, something very difficult, and the reason is known. This gang is not an ordinary gang or is present in one region, but rather it is the one who controls Iraq here. Certain thing is that every person who tries to report to them or wants to help him any victim or save his prey from the jaws of this gang, they will kill him and everything will lose his job no matter what he is or her family is. For this everyone here knows this. Also sometimes he practices his way with those trying to help one of their victims, which is that they give him money or others in order to give up this or lie to him. For example, they visit the characteristics of the victim, they make them work with them or follow him, or she is a crazy person, etc. If he doesn't, so of course they will kill him. What I say about this gang is not a secret at all, not secret files, but many know more than I know and know that this gang is the one who plays alone inside Iraq.
Order in the court!
You dirty double-crossing squealers. You rats. I'll get even with you if it's the last thing I ever do. Ain't a jail in this country strong enough to hold me. But when I do get out, I'll break off your legs and I'll wrap them around your neck.
Listen, fellas, if you take my advice, you'll get out of town as soon as possible. The butch is like an elephant. He never forgets. Why don't you keep your mouth shut?
What did I do?
Yes, what you did, you put us right on the spot. Everything would have been all right if you hadn't said, "Aren't you gonna hang him?" Couldn't you see that he was annoyed? Why, if he ever gets out of there, our lives won't be worth 5 cents.
Well, maybe we'd better get out of town.
Now, how are we gonna get out of town?
Well, we got a car.
So what are we gonna run it on?
On the road.
On the road. What are we gonna use for gas?
Well, we got enough money to buy some gas.
Not enough to go as far as I want to go.
Say, that gives me enough.
Dream 2. The second dream is that this device be stopped or disabled. This is also a distant dream. They ask for mercy from those who have no mercy. He did not have mercy on a French child in France. How he will have mercy on these victims? This is the true face of terrorism. Like his hand in the water means everyone hears about terrorism, but he did not come close to him to look at the victims of the World Trade Tower in the United States of America, etc. They are terrorism, and this demon in Iraq made himself a prophet.
Why did they turn that off now?
I don't know the answer to that. Possibly to hear what you're saying, hear what we're talking about.
And if they're wanting to control you...
In working the machine, they exert the most unrelenting and murderous villainy, and they've never been observed to smile. The machine makes a warp from distilled gases, poisoned as well as magnetic. The warp draws me into its sympathy. Then a powerful charge of the battery is let off. And these wretches, by means of impregnations, contrive to lift into my brain some particular idea. An external pressure of the magnetic atmosphere by them is termed lobster cracking. A sudden death squeeze.
Another dreams. There are other dreams, for example, finding a treatment or a way to make the waves stop or frighten, but also inside Iraq. This is very difficult because first of all, many victims do not know that they have been hit by weapons of mind control, and when they are killed with this is considered a matter of fate, or the causes of death are various diseases, for example, while it is a weapon for mind control. Another thing is that most of the victims are very poor and they do not have any capabilities. The gang isolated them completely and made them lose everything. There is another thing, which is the lack of any hospital or doctor that can treat such a thing, not even knowing something about him, and this is because this gang is the one who controls Iraq, and this is test the blood of these weapons. For this naturally prevents any publication of a warning to people, including, for example, or prevent any medications that can relieve these gangs spying on the victims 24 hours, and even ideas. Read one of the bad faith in any attempt.
Pull the radiation out of your body that they direct at you. I strongly believe it, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. After taking this, I literally felt the cells in my body tingling because I believe they were beginning to be oxygenated again. Okay? And I think this reduced the free radicals in
Great Delusion. This gang will make victim live in delusion and surrounding him by lies. They have specialist group for any kind of cheat and lies.
I say, please untie me. She is here.
She's not here. It is just a dream.
No! She is there. She is there.
They are only voices.
Come to me, my love, my body.
You only delusions.
Do not leave me here alone. Do not leave me. Come to us.
You only delusions.
Do not leave me here alone. Do not leave me. Come to us.
Nothing will victim take. Of course, the victims must know that they are nothing but a slave to this gang only, and I have noticed that some of the victims are as if a horse is running behind its islands, and no matter how it runs or stops the same thing, this gang practices kinds of illusion with the victims so that some of them think that they found a treasure or ran after the mirage. It will not get anything but harm.
Into a trap. And we've walked into a trap.
If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone, oh baby,
Now if I had the wings of an angel, over these prison walls I would fly, and I'd fly to the arms of my darling, and there I'd be willing to die.